Alrighty, alrighty. So if you don't mind me, I'm gonna speak my piece a little bit. My mind typically is heavy with thoughts. I don't know why I be pondering. Sometimes it just be basically like popcorn. These things just pop in my head. But I think what my mind has been spiraling over lately is the fact that to be number one, got this a little bit today doing a little worky work, but to be number one, and at least in America, what I've come to learn from my countless experiences is basically slave mentality. Now, to be the book, the superior, the one that they always go to when they need their issues, is to be replaceable, even though they know it might take a couple guys, it might take an AI, it might take sufficient enough of people to replace you. They'll never truly value you for who you truly are, within reason. Because I am well aware from the things I've been told, from the things I've experienced, from the things I've seen, there are some people that the value is so much they'll pay you to sit down and shut the fuck up and don't you dare go nowhere because you're so damn valuable. We don't want you to even think about speaking to nobody else. But sadly, it seems like those people seem to only be intellectually valued. So therefore, if you ain't got the big enough brains, even though you might be teaching the future, they don't care about a future that can think. Because the future that can think is already being paid well. They in the right communities. Now, for you lesser form communities, from what I've come to see, well, you sink or you swim. And typically, you need to lose a humane side of yourself to rise up the ranks to a certain degree. And I do believe I might be great to the community, although I don't generally believe I will be great when it comes to the advancements of my financial means. And that's just because I know the price of a lot of things that people generally do not like to discuss, like the price of being number one. That's all your time. That's all your energy. Now, a single bit, can you be 99%? You got to be 110 and not even 100%. You always got to be top. And honestly, I just damn near bothered the shit out of me. It broke me psychologically. A couple times I used to be a number one. I used to love to be a top performer. Now I just perform on the top means. And I don't generally mean to be in your top five. I generally don't want to be number one. I want to be at least in the top 10. But if you calling me first before you even try anything, I do believe that you have just completely submitted to thinking for yourself and just figured, well, I got number one person, I'm just call them. I don't need to even trial and error this shit. I know they'll get it done. It's just like, you didn't even need me. You just rely on me so much you forget you are somebody as well. Now, growing up, the weight of being number one, or at least from what I've learned and experienced from it, is you get a lot of people that upset at you because they generally don't feel as if you are deserving. They don't feel as if you worked as hard as them or even harder than them. So therefore, getting that prestigious of a title just means, well, you ain't deserving it. So a lot of people's ego, at least from my experience, has gotten my way because it's just like, hey, I work for it. I might not sweat like you do. I might not hurt like you do. But to say I didn't put in the work, your ego work different than mine do. I wasn't trying to be the number one slave. I was trying to be the best. In my attempts, I sometimes succeed and sometimes I fall short. And in my attempts to be the best slave, I learned I like to be free sometimes. I like to sleep sometimes. I like to be able to be 99. I like to be 50. I like to be 73. I like to be at 2%. But at 110% all day, every day, 24/7, I don't want to be your top slave. And regardless of what you say that you can give to me in title, bump up that pay. Even though it can never be returned back to me in time, because if I get more money, I spend more time here. That means other places where I could have been free, where I could have flourished. I could have been a different type of top performer and not necessarily be a slave. I decided to stay here, and what is left of me when I leave, when I am deceased, will they remember or will they just replace? For a company, I'll always be an employee. But for companies, well, I'm always me. The people don't know, but they like how I represent other places. But how I represent myself, people always got a thing or two to say, and I'm just like, well, I reckon, partner, you're talking to the wrong person. I know that my ears do work, my eyes do work, my tongue do work, but when you seem to have these complaints and your displeasures of me, I would like to apologize, but that version of me has been deceased because there's no need to apologize. I kept my hands up to myself. I kept my feet to myself. Now, although you might not find my whole entire essence appealing, you might not think my thoughts are cohesive. You may not even like me for other reasons that I can't even currently think of. And that's all right. You ain't gotta love me. You ain't gotta like me. And you ain't gotta tolerate me. But what you need to do is, now like a grown adult, and I'm assuming you're a grown adult. I might be wrong. Please correct me if I am wrong though. Now as a grown adult, what I expect you to do, if you're going that way, and I'm going this way. Now, what I expect us to be able to do as grown adults, as grown, intellectually connected adults, now we should be able to walk past each other without being fussy, like, what do you do? So, what you gonna do with like, oh, like, don't get me wrong, partner, I ain't got no good reason to dislike you, but that could change real quickly. Now, you might dislike me for some small reasons because my eye colors are different. Because I wore the wrong jersey, because I'm walking on the wrong side of the lane now. And there's many ways you can correct people, or you can just keep walking by. Now, depending on what version you choose, is clearly going to be the version you get back from me. Now, I do believe in turning the other cheek, but I also believe in settling the differences if there's going to be more problems that be happening. Because there's, oopsie, my bad, and then there's, do we have a problem? And I generally don't believe I have many problems in life I can't solve. Although there are some people that would say I'm a little bit excessive in the ways that I deem suitable to handle situations. But if you ask me personally, I think I'm effective. And my effectiveness, it sometimes causes some silly, nonsensical worriness, but I do believe in my effectiveness. If I really want to solve a problem, I don't have a problem that I have to solve twice if I really want to solve it. But there have been some issues I'm just like, I know I'm toying around with it because I keep coming back like it's a revolving door. Like, oh, let me solve this problem again. Well, let me solve this problem again. Let me. Actually, you know what? Let me build this wall real quick. I ain't need nobody else to pay for it. I'm a hard working man. You ain't gotta believe shit that I say. This body speaks for itself. I ain't gained these muscles. I watch those episodes too, but no, I get down and do the shit I need to make sure I still do. Because when I call for help, it's all mentally. I used to scream out loud, but you know, if that person always listening, I don't really need to say all that loudly now, do I? I'm just saying things until I'm not saying things. You ain't gotta believe a damn thing I say, but to be number one is to be challenged consistently in ways that you ain't even thought you would be. And I've learned that at a real young age, I don't want to be number one. Sometimes I don't want to be in your top three. Sometimes I just want to be in the top 10, maybe top 20. Honestly, I just want to be a background character, but I got main character energy sometimes. Or maybe that's just me. You didn't need to ask me too many times help. I used to be begged not to help, and I was generally confused, maybe almost twitching English. I was like, wait a second, you want me to keep my hands and feet to myself? You don't want me to do nothing? Now I need to leave. I feel uncomfortable. I need the help. Or I need help because I don't. You want me to sit here and listen to y'all suffer? Well, my soul wasn't built like that. Either I cause the suffering or I help people out. I said I don't like other people's causing the suffering because even when I do bad so bad they don't even consider me a bad man. They just like, oh, he just confused. So I'm just saying like. If I ain't out to help you, I might as well just leave. And sometimes it's the best I can do to help you. I just leave and you'll handle it yourself, right? But shit, if I was meant to be here, they'd keep me here now, wouldn't they? But clearly, they don't need me and I don't need them. So I try to keep my peace where I can because I know being number one doesn't go number one across all boards, but sometimes I don't think it's worth it. And even though I did say number one, sometimes meaning being the number one slave, when you got the right people around you, when they generally give a shit about you, when they give you gratitude and peace, sometimes being number one feels on the otherworldly instead of feeling like, I think I heard Master call the whip, crack the whip. My experiences with leading and being a high performer has led me to believe that a lot of this shit's just for the birds. Consider me as you may. Consider me as you might. You ain't gotta love me. You ain't gotta like me. Hell, you ain't gotta respect me. But the least you can do is cohabitate. You go that way. I go this way. I won't look at you if you don't look at me. And if you want a problem, I don't want a problem. But if you want to have a problem, you already know in the words of 50 Cent, I guess no problem.